Well, welcome into Kitchen Talk Pickleball Edition. I'm your host, Caitlin Miller, and this week joining us is a huge pickleball advocate in the Nashville area, Kendall Graves. Kendall, it's so good to see you. I'm glad to have you on.
I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
And Kendall, obviously, you play a huge role here in the pickleball community. Kind of tell us your story, how you got involved with pickleball.
So I first started playing in 2019, and that's where I'll say I was introduced to the sport. But later on, I started playing, I want to say more consistently around 2020, 2021, close to COVID time frame. And yeah, the community was just so loving and everybody was just so nice. I couldn't help but play. Plus I was getting beat up by 65 and over. So I was like, what's going on? So it's kind of the competitive part and then the friendliness of the community kind of just took me over, to be honest with you. Like I was an avid basketball player, but after I got into pickleball, it was just all pickleball all the time. It's just infectious for sure.
And now it's become, a huge part of your career. You're now a co-founder of Elevate to Victory. Tell us a little bit about what this business is and how you got started with your friend Antonio.
No, absolutely. So Elevate to Victory is a pickleball services business. Our main thing is collaborating, right? We want to collaborate with different businesses, restaurants, anybody who has a product that they want to bring forward, and we use pickleball to help highlight that. We host tournaments. We're trying to get into the youth pickleball space as well, and it's not just about pickleball; it's about elevating the overall community. And the reason this business came about and why this approach is so important to both me and Antonio is that the pickleball community has meant so much to me as I got into the sport. It wasn't presented to me as just a sport, right? Um, I discovered pickleball around the time I was going through a divorce and I had a very low time where I just needed to be around people. And I know you can get that from anywhere being around people, but the pickleball community really embraced me. And in certain cases, I feel like changed my life. So yeah, me and Antonio went on a mission trip, with Diane, Ross Thomas. And after that mission trip, we got back and we said we have to do something for these kids in the Philippines that we went there to visit in Bogo City with Humility. And we said, what can we do? I didn't want to just sponsor a kid. Antonio just didn't want to sponsor a kid. We wanted to take care of every single one of those kids that was there. So we decided to collaborate, put our business together and say, hey, maybe we can finance some things for Humility through a business. So we combined and we created Humility. So our whole premise is really trying to do as much as we can for those kids that touched us while we're in the Philippines. Yeah, just spread the love that I know the pickleball community has and making sure that everybody that can experience has the opportunity to experience through our collaborations.
And
Yeah.
and that's amazing. And what was it like working with the kids in the Philippines and really giving them that opportunity to play a sport that has been so life-changing to you?
So I'll tell you this. First of all, one thing these kids did more for me than I could ever do for them. And let me say that first of all, just because, to have little or nothing and wake up every day bright eyed and just bushy tailed and ready to go because you're getting to do something simple like play a sport or somebody teach you to play a sport. Really just the level of gratitude changed everything for me because I had never experienced that level of gratitude, before in my life. Um, I can't even talk about this too much. It makes me emotional, but yeah, teaching those kids honestly meant everything to me. And I just saw how learning a new sport and them getting into it and being so intense about it, because I have a background for coaching with basketball, it just really grabbed me. And just that level of gratitude, that everyone, the staff and the children, in the Philippines showed us there just made me feel like, you know what, this pickleball thing could have something to it, right? Um, because through this sport, it touched my life. Why wouldn't it be able to touch other people's life, um, abroad and at home, So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Do you plan to go back to the Philippines anytime soon?
Absolutely. Every year, I want to get back there a couple of times a year, but we're actually going back, July 15th. We're heading back. We're having a few clinics there. We also partner with the PPA, the Philippines Pickleball Association, to host a
Oh,
few just training certification courses for all the trainers that's over there, because pickleball is just emerging there. So we want to help advance and spread pickleball throughout the communities there. And definitely we'll be there with humility and with our kids the whole time for probably about 3 weeks or so. So we plan on touching not only Bogo City and humility, but we're definitely reaching out and partner with some of the local pickleball organizations just to see where we can collaborate and help.
wow, that's amazing. It's so great to see, the pickleball just growing on an international level and all the countries kind of working together. I just interviewed, the founder of the Pickleball World Games, and she's out in Lima, Peru. Now you're going to the Philippines. And how big, like, do the Philippines have a lot of courts out there,
Oh,
or
so,
how big would you
so,
say?
oh, sorry, let me cut you off.
No, no, I was just going to say, how big do you think the sport is out there?
It's becoming huge. So the first time we went out there, we were playing on basketball courts, with lined out on basketball courts.
Yeah.
Now they Bogo City, which is a smaller city in the Philippines, very close, to Manila. Um, they have local courts there now at the park. They've made local courts. They've also made an indoor facility in Bogo City, which honestly is unheard of. Like we don't even have that many facilities here in Middle Tennessee just yet, but they already have an indoor facility in Bogo City in the Philippines, which is huge. And if you go over to Manila, it's even bigger. And also just looking at Facebook and seeing what's going on, I mean, those clubs are blowing up. So it's very big and it's still at its emergent state, meaning that we need people to pour into it, like the knowledge of the sport, the training, how it's actually done. So it's definitely prime for grooming. As far as players, I mean, it's growing expansively for sure, and you can just tell that on the amount of facilities and things that are happening now. Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
actually
and I think
in
that's
the Philippines. Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say that's just what's so great about pickleball. I feel like it is low maintenance. And so, if you can really just have two paddles, a ball, draw a few lines and have a net and play every afternoon after school or whatever it may be. And I think it's so nice to see just how accessible this sport is for all ages, abilities, and just like, no matter your economic status, it's pretty affordable as well.
Look, you hit the nail on the head, right? You can play from 5 years old to 99 years old if you keep yourself up, right? So, I mean, it's nobody that this sport can touch. I think that's what makes this a lot different than other sports. Um, just because like the amount of opportunity there's there for people to play. And obviously, like you know how it goes. There's only two types of pickleball players. There's the assessed pickleball player, and there's somebody that has not played pickleball yet. So I say that to
Yes.
right. So I say that to say is that you get people in the sport and you meet so many people, and that's where the community part goes in. It's just such a big opportunity to expand our community worldwide. So I look at it and we look at it and elevate the victory. It's just more than a sport. It's such a big opportunity to bring people together and just to collaborate. It's just such opportunity there for sure.
And I love the name of your business, Elevate to Victory. What made you, come up with the name, and obviously, what's the meaning behind it kind of long term with your business?
All right, so I will say that this is all Antonio. Antonio Cummins is my business partner. Um, big fan of that guy, awesome pickleball player as well. But it was his name, and it was a super long name at first. It was Elevate to Victory. It was a long sentence, and I said, "Hey, man, this is too much." And then we thought about it, broken down to the premise, and even to our logo. Our logo is the number two instead of the TO. And the way we thought about it is that hey, we're going to elevate the two is two different things, like not one person, right? But two different entities, two people, a combination, working together to, be victorious. And also on top of that, we're both very God-fearing men. So it has a religion aspect as well. And it's elevating to victory, to glorification of God. Like that's one of our major things, that we stand on in our business. That's why collaboration is important. That's why community is important for us. Like I said, we want to not only advance the sport, But we definitely want to also make sure we're doing the best we can for each other and elevating God's name and elevating Jesus in any way possible through our business.
I love that. That's so awesome to have that story behind that name and that special meaning. And I think that is what's so important, right, about pickleball is just how supportive that community is. Like, obviously, it's helped you a lot. It's helped myself a lot. I've moved around, like, didn't know a soul when I moved to Nashville. And then you have like 20 new friends instantly. It's so special. And I know you were mentioning like pickleball kind of, you found it during a hard time in your life when you were going through a divorce. I know most recently you even had your car burned down and
Oh my
the
gosh.
pickleball community. I mean, tell me, that's a crazy
Oh
story.
my
Tell us a
gosh.
little bit about what happened there.
So long story long, right? So I'm waking up one morning to go to a training and yeah, my engine popped, uh, catches fire, pretty much lose everything I have in my vehicle. And I told you I'm a man of faith, and to be honest with you, I saw this and I'm like, God, you got to work. We're gonna work this out, right? So I won't worry. I always operate with a smile. I do move in a careless manner, so when I first person I talked to was Kelvin Motor because I saw him that day. I went about my business, got a ride, got to my sessions, got to the gym, whatever I need to do that day. Knowing that I literally lost everything I had because I'm a pickleball coach, trainer. I do everything pickleball. So I have everything in my car, my paddles, my nets, my, changing clothes, everything, right? Essentially everything that's
Yeah.
my life right now and lost it all. Um, so when I talked to Kevin, I got a smile on my face. I said, hey, this happened to me. I lost my car and everything I got, yeah, but let's play pickleball. And Kevin, said, hey, let me put a word out. Let's do something for you. And this community is just so loving that two days, not even 2 days later, they pull up and say, "Hey, we got you a brand new car." I didn't. So with me, and this is people outside of pickleball that may not know me as well. I'm always going to be happy, right? So I don't hold a lot of pain on me or even let people into things I'm dealing with because I know the world is dealing with things, right? I give everything away when it comes to stress, but um, for the community to band together and do that for me, like it warmed my heart and it just confirmed, excuse me, I'm sorry. It just confirmed for me what I already knew. Um, there's a lot of love there and there's a lot of opportunity for more people to experience that love through pickleball. Because I would have never met any of these people or been around anybody, if I was not introduced to the sport. And sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that I can't even imagine like and like you said to be able to like go on and have a smile on your face and also go show up for your coaching job and everything like that and then 2 days later to be surprised like with a car
Yeah.
and just seeing like I just saw the comments about people just raving about you and just how much you've done for the community here. So when you saw the car just like show up like that, I mean, what was your reaction?
I'll be honest with you, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like they play too much. I did not know what's going on. I did not know how to consume the information. It's still surreal to me. It's still surreal to me. But I'm gonna tell you, one thing that it did for me, Caitlin, is, it lit a fire in, in my mission. I mean, I was want to bring our business forward. I'm always travel. I'm always hold up my community, but it definitely lit a fire in me. Um, and it made me feel more responsible. Like if this community loves me this much to do this for me, I have to make sure every day that I'm doing everything to bring this community forward and that I'm evolving this sport, that we all love so much. So, um, I didn't know how to feel, still really don't know how to feel, but I do feel a sense of responsibility to, repay everybody with my energy, meaning like to continue to bring things forward and to elevate the sport wherever I can and whenever I can. Because I know it's more people out there that need this. And when I say this, I'm not meaning like, um, oh, they need something to do. There are people out there that are struggling mentally, that's looking for purpose. And this sport can definitely do that. There's struggling businesses out there that don't know how they're going to stay open. these are collaborations that we're looking to make, so I can continue to evolve my community. So I don't know how I feel even now, but I can tell you what, like, my tank has never been so full. I can tell you that.
And I think, I mean, and that's why I absolutely love like doing this podcast, hearing these amazing stories and sharing them. But I think it's what pickleball is special because it's like, obviously other sports have changed a lot of people's lives, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, the list goes on and on. But I think pickleball is interesting because it's a sport that we play past, our childhood, teenage years. And a lot of people hit major bumps in the road through adulthood. And I think that's something, people don't talk about as much. And this is a sport and a community that people are able to have past high school, past college, past elementary school. And it's just something like I feel like that's never really existed before until this sport came about and became so popular, throughout the pandemic and beyond. And I think it's just so great that we're able to have that team or that community again, in our adult lives.
Absolutely. So, and I give this to people all the time, right? Even if I'm talking to a young high schooler, or if I'm talking to a older person that's just getting into the sport, like myself, like an older gentleman like myself getting into the sport, I'll say this: there's so much opportunity. If you have the drive as an athlete, you say, "I want to go pro." Hey, you know what? This is a sport where you can come in, unlike basketball, unlike football, unlike a lot of sports where you can put the hard work forward and you can eventually make it there, right? Sooner than later if you're convicted. Also, let's say if you're 45, 50 years old, no problem. Senior pro, you can develop yourself. You have the opportunity to drive. And I always say this, on Facebook and Instagram all the time. And I know I sound super corny on Instagram. I'm like a walking motivational speech, but it's really true. Um, it's not about making it to those places, right? It's about having a goal to be able to walk a journey, right? Because what are we living for, right? We're living to make to feel gratitude or to feel accomplished, right? That we're accomplishing something, right? So pickleball is
Yeah.
just another opportunity for some kid that may have not took to another sport, may not feel athletic, to come into pickleball and say, hey, I want to do this. And then they get opportunity to drive towards a goal to feel that accomplishment because it's not about making pro. It's not about making senior pro. It's about the opportunity that is there, right? So you can drive and feel accomplished on the journey. It's about the journey and to be able to pursue something that you would otherwise not have opportunity to pursue. I mean, you're talking right now to a mid 40-year-old man that's having the opportunity to start a new business, right? And sky's the limit on it. So, I mean, opportunity is not just for playing. The opportunity is for
Right.
entrepreneurs. The opportunity is for a person, that's looking to get, physically in shape. I mean, it's for older person that wants to get their mind sharp because I know you saw it. Doing paddle sports adds 10 years to your life. It's just science, people. So, I mean, we're talking about full spectrum, you know?
Yeah, no, there's many ways you can get involved with pickleball beyond just playing and, watching this sport. Like, people have come up with clothing lines, paddle companies, and become instructors. It's like, a lot of career shifts too, to get, in while it's still growing and still new. And it's so great to see. And for people who don't know Kendall Graves, and you kind of touched on this, you're big on social media, big on, giving people that motivational push. What would you say is so rewarding about being able to use, social media in a positive light like that?
Oh, super, super important to me. To be honest with you, a lot of people think it's vanity, and I won't say it's not a little bit of that because I'm human, right? But but to be honest with you, I wake up and I pray and I say, like, what can I do for people today? Like, what can I do for my community today? And I know it sounds silly, but I really do this every day. And I want to just make sure I'm sharing my experiences and the way I'm feeling with the world. Because I know that people have helped me that don't even know they've helped me. That said things to me that may just mean little to them that meant big to me. And I don't know, um, what part of my journey is going to be able to help someone else. So I just always want to be accessible. so they can use the opportunities, uh, to motivate themselves as well. To be honest with you, yeah, I just post a lot.
I love that, but I know I love your energy. Like it's hard. I mean, it's so inspiring even on your worst days, when your car burned down, like the fact that you're able to show up on us with a smile on your face. I mean, that takes a lot of strength. Not many people could do that. I feel like I would have had a breakdown. Also, just knowing it wasn't just my car, but all my possessions I used, to teach and to do my job. So I think it's just inspiring that you are able to, push through those hard times with a smile on your face.
Hey, look, I will say this, for the world, right? It's all God. Honest with you, I walk with him, and he makes sure I'm good because Kendall by himself is horrible. And so I walk with God, and he take care of me. And it's really that simple, and I don't make it any more complex than that. It's really that simple for me.
Yeah. No, I love
Yeah.
that. And I mean, beyond, motivating people, being an instructor, trainer, you're also involved a little bit too with clothing design with the Picklin. So tell us a little bit about that and how you got
Oh
involved.
man. Mike with Pickling. Shout out to Mike. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. So and this is how things just happen, right? And this is a perfect example of collaboration. Mike has Pickling. He saw me on Facebook. I saw him on Facebook. I'm like, let me drop a line to him and say, hey, wouldn't mind collaborating with you. He says, hey, I'm trying to get my pickleball apparel line on the road. Let's collaborate. And honestly, it really was that simple. Talk with Mike. He told me his story and it touched my heart, and I said, look, this is the type of collaborations I want to make. Somebody that has their heart into their business and they want to be successful. Because honestly, I feel like, and this is just what I feel and what I understand is that if you put your passion and the hard work for it, eventually it's going to happen. And I want to align myself with as many people that will motivate me, like Mike motivated me with Pickling. Like I said, he's going to be huge. So I would be a fool not to attach my Charlie to his train when it comes to his apparel. And yeah, you'll be seeing that real soon. We're making doing some collaborations now. And he'll be up on our Elevate the Victory site. He's actually right now doing some custom apparel for us for the Philippines for our trip. Definitely see that
Oh,
online as well once that's up and going. But yeah, super excited about that. Yeah.
I love that. Look good, play good, right?
Hey, look, you got to subscribe to the Deion Sanders. Look good, play good. I've lived by that motto since I was yay high. You look good, you play good. If I go out there and lose, and if I go out there and get pickled 5 times, I'm gonna look great doing it. I can guarantee you that.
I love it. And I have to say, like, I love, like, I was a tennis player. I always loved the tennis dresses and skirts. And I have to say, pickleball is really making moves with its apparel. I'm excited.
It's coming. It's coming. So I think pickleball pro is trying to find its identity, right? So
Yeah,
because you can't help but have a little bit of like a tennis influence because a lot of players come from tennis. It's a very similar power sport, right? So so we have like the sophisticated kind of grown look, but then, pickleball is kind of a party, right? It's kind of a vibe, right? So you're starting to see now where that pickleball energy, that good vibe is starting to come out in the clothing a little bit more. And I'm super excited and just very curious of how our apparel identity will look, right? Because it will be different. And what's so exciting about that is that we're all here, creating it right now. Like we're
right.
all here creating the vibe, creating the style. We're all getting to be tastemakers of what 10, 15 years from now is just going to be staple, right? We're getting to create that. So like, yeah, super excited.
And that's why I love like entrepreneurs and just being part, involved with startups. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like you actually have a say in, the start of something new and what, would be the standard in a few years. And it's so much cooler to be a part and more rewarding, especially several years from now, to be a part of the start of all of that. And I think that's why so many people are kind of jumping on that train in different capacities with the pickleball world is to see what they can do with this sport.
Oh, no, absolutely. So I field at least 5 calls a day where it's like, hey, I do this and this now, and I have this warehouse want to turn into pickleball courts. How does it look like, right? Because everybody's starting to understand that this thing is getting huge, right? Um,
Yeah.
one thing I want to say just for any entrepreneur, I don't care. I was in supply chain. I have never played a racket sport in my life, right? Until pickleball. So it's not like I've been groomed for this forever, right? But, um, pickleball is just one of those areas that like, hey, if you believe that you can do this and you have enough passion and you're willing to be a starving artist at first and be a part of something emerging, it can be so great. I talk this to Antonio all the time. When we first started our business, I told him, I said, hey, I don't care if we make one penny the first 5 years. I know this thing is going to be huge and I'm here for it. Either if I'm working out of my car, I'm here for it because it's going to be huge, right? I'm not comfortable with just being part of the emerging. I want to be a part of the staple. For as far as pickleball grow, I want to be a part of it. And for me, it's not about liquidity. That'll happen eventually. For me, um, I'm looking at this like an artist. Like I really just want to be able to put my piece of art on the wall of the Smithsonian of pickleball when it's all said and done, right? And that's really what's
Right.
about for me. It's the journey of building this thing, like the excitement of waking up knowing that, hey, I'm gonna do something that's gonna move a whole sport that's worldwide now to another level. Start with my community. And yeah, I just want everybody to be a part of it. Like I want people to understand that, hey, look, you can wake up and be a part of something huge.
And I think that's the mentality you really have to have, especially if you're taking that like leap of faith and starting something completely different or something, risky. It's like, you're going to hit bumps in the road. At the end of the day, you have to see the long-term vision. You have to believe it, see it in order to, eventually achieve it. But it is like you have to keep that like long-term picture in sight. So like, when you do hit those challenges, you can keep pushing on and keep, fighting for what you want and what you're creating.
Absolutely, because Caitlin, you know this, it's just tough. Like at first, you're trying to take off. You're not gonna have everything that you see that your competitors have, or you're not at the place you think you should be yet because it's timing, right? And we don't always control timing, but what we control is effort. So what I know to be
Yeah.
true is that if I keep making these partnerships and we keep finding like-minded entrepreneurs to keep moving forward we may not be where we want to be, even in the next 2 years, right? But if we just keep moving forward and be consistent, it will happen. That's the only difference between somebody that feels like they failed and somebody that's being successful. It's just continue to move forward, right? And it's not our timing. We don't predict the timing, right? But what we can predict, I can predict this for you that I'm gonna be here doing this. I can predict that. I can't tell you how big the business will be, right? But I can tell you, I'm gonna try everything in me to continue to grow this community. I want people to feel what I feel. I want kids to feel what I feel on a daily basis. And yeah, that's my mission until I hit the dirt, right? That's just what I'm doing. I mean, I didn't choose it. That's just what I'm doing.
I love it. Well, Kendall, you definitely inspired me. I'm sure you'll inspire a lot of people listening to this. So, Kendall Graves, everyone, thank you so much for joining us and stay tuned to see who will join us in the kitchen next time.